I bought this Dewalt 733 planer off of Craigslist, and I need to build a stand for it. I got it sitting on the bench right now. So I'm going to build a stand for it similar to the joiner stand, but a little bit different. I'm going to use 2x4s, but I'm going to plane it down from the 1.5 to the 1.25, so I'll face it and plane it down to get a nice surface on each side, and joint one side and rip it down close to 3-inch, and then run it through the planer at 3 inches, so I have good uniform pieces. And then instead of using any screws, I'm going to mortise and tenon all the joints. And then on top of that, I'm going to make a mobile vase for it, which will be incorporated into the frame at the bottom with retractable casters. So let's get started. Here's the drawing I made of the planer stand showing all the parts. I'm going to cut them all to a rough length, a little bit longer than their actual length. And then once we get them all surfaced down to size, we'll trim them to the correct length, get them good and square, ready for mortise and tenoning. Okay, we've got all the boards planed down to 1.25 inches, and we got one side jointed, or one edge jointed, and then ripped to about 3 1/8 inches. So now we're going to run it back through the planer at about 3 1/16 to get the solid edge planed, and then flip it over and bring it down to 3 inches on the jointed side, and then we should be ready to cut pieces to length. Okay, we've got all our pieces planed to the right thickness and the right width, so we'll square one end on the miter saw and then turn around and cut all the pieces to length. Okay, we're ready to start mortising the legs. I've got the CNC router set up similar to the way I had it for the joiner stand. I've got a stop block and I've already got it set up, and we'll clamp that in place, mortise those two spots for the rails, and then we'll have to flip it over and do another setup to do the side for the side rails. So let me get this clamped in place and make our first cut. Okay, we're ready to route the side of the legs for the rails on the side. We'll have to do two legs this way, and then the other two legs will be the opposite hand, which instead of the mortise being here, it'll be over here. So we'll do these two legs first. Okay, now that we've got all the mortise and tenons cut, it's time to start gluing the frames together.